Okay. Hi, I'm Tia Bottom and with Time Marker Photography, and I'm here with Brianne Dizino with Beyond Grounded. I would love for you to kind of explain what that is and who you are and what you do with that.
Okay, so Beyond Grounded is my way of taking people from thinking that what they know and then helping expand them to even the greatest assets that they never thought that they possessed. I'm a spiritual life coach, so I love encouraging and coaching people to basically see the importance of all of their life experiences. Because being a spiritual life coach, I'm very soul dominant, but your body, your avatar body you pick, is phenomenally important for your soul, correct? So when you look at that, I'm here to help you work through your healing and your expressing and embracing of all the importance of all of your experiences. And then while I work one-on-one with the people in my life and my clients, I really love helping them get very connected to their own intuition, gut instinct, whatever term you want to use there.
Yeah.
As well as learning how to connect with our universal team on the other side. So you put those two together, and that's what makes me a spiritual life coach.
That's amazing. And I love that and if you feel anything, be sure to just kind of chime in, because that way I think.
Well, listen, I'm always here, and so we'll see where they want to be like, hey,
I'm ready for the spotlight.
Trust me, there are ones over there. That's how I'm getting used to this. I've been very hermity, and they've been putting me in and nudging me and putting people, other souls in. Like, to break it down, we're all soul in an avatar body. Right. So usually when you think that you're going to be able to control everything, listen, they align it and they connect with other guides. Of each one of us have our guides. We have our angels. We have our loved ones. We have our source, God. We have all of that at our fingertips. So that being said, it's like they know what's best for you, and they put you in it for you to experience. And if anyone has anything to say or wanting anyone to know anything, or anyone on your end, because see how it's usually one-on-one, and I'm feeling you by, being connected, but they might say that they want everybody that hears this,
actually
or watches this, they actually,
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But side note, we are friends outside of this. I've known you for a few months now, and
AKA lifetime feeling.
Lifetimes. And when I first met you, I was like, oh my gosh, she's like home to me. I just wanted to hug you and like nestle into you. And I still have that feeling, but even bigger, like, oh my gosh, I love you in my life. So I just want to make sure that you know that.
I love you
and
too.
Now everybody else does in the group. Okay. So what is one thing you do every day?
One thing I do every day is talk to the other side.
Okay.
Throughout the day, multiple times in the day. That has been my wheelhouse since I've been young. I felt so connected to the other side, more so than my connection to any soul and avatar body. Over the years, I'll just throw it out there, I'll be 41 in September.
Yay!
But I'll tell you, I appreciate connecting more with humanity and souls in their avatar bodies than I ever have. But every day I talk to the other side. They're my heart, my best friends. They're the things that got me through a lot of deep things. But now I'm starting to experience it and appreciate the body that I chose.
So do you talk out loud, or is it just in your head?
All of the above, honey, because that's one thing that not all of my clients have the passion to really get like this. Yeah. But here's the thing, what I tell everybody, you don't have to be my client. You don't have to be, your soul never lets you down. Right. Your soul interacts with the other side, and you don't have to, your body doesn't have to go, oh my gosh, it's the other side. Like you can get that perspective if you're truly like craving to understand that. But just know when you're sleeping, when you're awake, and if you're focused on your five senses and what your avatar body is experiencing, just know your soul's not letting you down. That's the dominance of you, really.
Right.
So, but do I talk to them out loud? Yeah.
When you're angry.
Usually whenever they bring me and I get out that fire element of me and I go, oh, you guys, and they laugh when I do that because that's the dominant element I chose, right?
Right.
But a lot of times it's in our own head too. And this is what I tell my clients is that usually if you're really struggling and you're in a moment and you have like a light bulb moment and you think it's in your head because you hear your voice,
Right.
I'm telling you, 99.9% of the time, it's your universal team. But the way that you're used to interpreting it is something that you think that you know is how you sound, how you feel, right?
Yeah.
And they go, well, how do I know it's them? I said, because it's way smarter than you. You've been struggling for so long until you calm down. And then they're telling you and you're going, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't have to know whose voice it is. It's just go with your intuitive state. Go with, you can take it how you want to, but yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Especially women. I think that we don't listen enough to ourselves, and internally, like you can think like, well, what if it's them trying to tell me? They know more than I do. And to actually really like trust yourself and your thoughts and
just go with it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I love that. So what is your best organizational tool?
Oh, wow. I'm sure that whenever I start doing like workshops and stuff, one of the first things I love to talk to people about is our 4 elements. All right. So you have to kind of understand your temperament. Like me, I started studying astrology, which is very technical, and it breaks you down to 4 elements. Your fire, your air, your earth, and your water. And each one of them represent a certain aspect. We all possess these, but the more you get to learn yourself, you'll see which ones you're more dominant in and which ones you utilize without breathing, right? So that being said, I'm very earth dominant, which is factual, organized, perfectionist, to the point, controlled.
Right.
My second element that I'm dominant is fire. Fire is passion, okay? So it's being larger than life and just being in the moment and so passionate, but it still likes being more controlled. Like air, an air sign is always about being in the moment.
Right.
Like they don't like heaviness. They don't like to sit there and overthink. They just love to be in the moment and what they're getting out of it on a large understanding. And then your water, that's your emotion. People who have a lot of water, they're going to cry at any given commercial, even if someone else would go.
Look, I go through all of those elements a month, right?
It's depending on the hormone shift. But looking over your over your lifetime, and you see, wow, here's the big question, like I have for my clients is, how do you self-preserve? Do you shut down? Do you get fiery? Do you run away because it's like too much because your air, you're like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
Or do you sit and you just go, because you're so emotional, right? So when you find out what you're dominant in, and the easiest way to figure that out is how do you preserve yourself? How do you protect yourself? So that comes down to organization. Okay. It's like, I'm telling a story upon one question of I could easily
right.
But I'm so poetic. It's like, do you ever notice, like, I'm always, I'm so terrible at this, but I'm always like, let me throw more stuff out there for you. Give you food for thought. Cause who gives a shit?
Give it all to me.
How I organize, but how I organize, because I'm earth dominant, is I have a small calendar planner in my purse. I have a big planner on my work desk. I have my phone calendar.
Right.
So if I'm traveling and somebody wants to like talk to me about dates and I'm on the phone and I can't just while I'm driving, and I just hurry up and I'll be like, I'll pull over and I'll just grab my paper one and I'll go, yes. And then I'll put it into my phone and the big book. Because what if I'm working with a client and then I have so that's the beauty of knowing what you're dominant in and how best to serve, your strong assets, right?
Right.
Quickly, if you know your strong elements, then you also understand for you to feel happy and balanced, you must really start doing things that scare you, because that's the other elements you possess, but you just don't naturally put time into, right?
Right. It's easier
Right. So
to do the things you know.
that's just food for thought of how people are just like, I've been so unhappy for so long. And it's like, okay, well, the moment you figure out what elements you're strong in, then you need to start figuring out what elements you're not giving any energy to, and
Right.
start figuring out what would that element do? What would a fire element do? What would an air element do? What would an earth, a water?
Yeah.
And then you'll find a lot more happiness and balance. That's kind of my,
Do you
my,
help people with that too?
yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like, I'm so one-on-one, and everybody's so different, right?
Yeah.
Every soul is very different. Every avatar body is very different. I could have somebody who was born the same exact day as me, but there's something is always different.
Oh, yeah,
So,
for sure.
and at the end of the day, it's like, you know, when people work with me, it's like my biggest goal is to help them understand the importance of what they went through, even if they think it's been difficult or negative or, you know, just debilitating.
Yeah.
Plus, getting to know their avatar body they picked, and what their strengths are, and what elements that they truly are missing. Even if I would tell somebody and they go, oh no, that's too unknown, and that does, I don't know. Usually if you're afraid of it, it means you should do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but yes, that's my passion is when I sit with somebody, is helping to give them as much perspective as I can about their journey here.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that. So, do you have a team? I already know where this is going.
I think that pretty much the first two questions have answered. Yes, I do have a team. I call them nonstop.
We can speed through. Like, obviously, I know that because
Yeah, you like universal team is my team. Like,
right.
because to me, they are. You could bet on them any day. They're really very consistent in you. They're very loving. They're very encouraging. They're the things that could give you the most profound catalyst to help trigger you to shift and grow and evolve and expand. And
Okay.
it's all out of love. As opposed to, yes, I do love the Steelers too.
Yeah. That's funny.
But
okay,
my number one
at
pick.
the 10-minute mark, and I just want to, I'm going to give you the rest of the questions like fast.
Okay. Oh, okay. Right. Here we go.
Ready? It's like a game show.
All right. Well, it's good because you see, I'm already trying to give out sessions already.
Full disclosure, you're going to be one of the lives this month, and you're working on something very cool with Oracle cards, right? Is that what they're called?
Well, yeah, I want to show people like certain modalities, but because it's supporting the fact that I want to really encourage people to start trusting their intuition, that they're drawn to certain things for particular reasons, even if it's not obvious.
Yeah. So I will be posting when you're going to be doing that. I think it's going to be on a Wednesday in a couple of weeks. So I'm super excited. I think everybody's going to love it. All right. You ready for a speed round? All right. What was the pivotal moment in your business?
Oh my God, that's such a deep question. And this is a speed round. Crap. The pivotal moment of my business is when I realized how much of a blessing being in touch with each other is. Having
that realization.
Yes, that realization of that I'm not alone. I don't have to be alone.
Yeah.
To create, the blessings and what I really want. It's like the universe brought me such equal loving souls and avatar bodies that just made my jaw drop about really truly what love feels like amongst each other.
That's awesome. I love that. All right.
Next pressure.
All right. Personal life. What's the best advice to balance work and personal?
Oh, this has been an interesting lesson because of the fact of me having a miracle baby.
Tell us how old he is.
Okay. So my miracle baby, he is 2 years old and 5 months. So, and he's beyond brilliant. He's definitely my heated little karma. But since I had him, I'm going to be honest with you, it opened up the fact that I love my husband on a very different, updated perspective. The thought of being a mom, like it changed every perspective I have about matters of what I want to do with my heart, because I've always been so guarded. And then, because I was always about my career,
Right.
right? So to say how to balance both is this. It's one of those things where you go through the growing pains of just releasing your career, and when you fall in love with your family and you're going, oh my gosh, I don't ever want to take time from them. And then you start going back into business. Make sure you do your career something you love to do.
Right. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yes. The most important thing I could tell you is this, because especially once we're going through this big change in 2020, okay, this huge catalytic change. Make sure your business and your career is truly fulfilling to a lot of you other than one dimension.
Right.
That you actually feel more open to put your time into that, as opposed to feeling like you're taken away from your family for you to be miserable. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you can say yes, you love that, then it's going to come easier for you to put time into your family, put time into your business, and feel
Another
fulfilled
baby.
on all aspects.
Right.
Yeah.
Like another part of your family.
Yes.
I mean, that's great advice. What do you wish you knew at the start of your entrepreneurship?
I'm going to go back to the fact that when I first started my business, I really was so convinced, being earth dominant. This is why it's powerful knowing what
Can I just
right.
interject that
Yeah.
you were you were a biological scientist?
I was a laboratory scientist specialized in microbiology.
Yes.
So I was
Like
in a
complete
hole in the wall,
contrast.
analyzing, fulfilling my earth.
Yeah.
And
I didn't mean to cut you
fulfilling,
off, but I wanted to
yeah,
make sure people knew that that's what you used to do, and then now this is what you do.
and
Okay.
now this is what I do. Yeah, it's like I went from being a hermit, isolating myself, analyzing, being a perfectionist, giving out the best information for patients to be treated on, and very limited interacting. Coming into my business, because I am all about inspiring people to see beyond their groundedness. And it's kind of funny with me being so earth and wanting to be grounded.
Yeah.
Like I don't want people to be limited like that, limited like that. So what I wished I would have known when I first started was it was all going to come at my fingertips. It was all going to come to me. Like, as much as I fought and I cried about, I was like, oh my gosh, so frustrated. I don't know how this is going to work. And financial changes, because I went from making big bucks to not ever going back into a laboratory, kids. So, you beautiful, amazing women, just so you know, I went from being so self-sufficient to making the decision to just give my notice and never walk back into a lab.
Yeah.
And then build my business from that, and then have anxiety attacks of, am I going to have enough money to pay my bills? Am I going to have enough money to contribute to my family?
Right.
But everything aligned the way that it was supposed to. And the reason for me doing that, I see now the importance of me doing that, was to build a much stronger dependence of my marriage.
Yeah.
From me being so isolating, I didn't open my heart up to even my husband. I'm going a little intimate here, but just so you know, it was important that I did that now looking back, because it made me appreciate and trust him with my life, where before I trusted nobody with my life.
Yeah. That's
right.
great. That's great revelation too.
So when it all started, had I would imagined, it's like, even though I fought myself, okay, this is what I keep telling everybody. When you stop fighting yourself, things will come and they'll be obvious. When you're fighting yourself, you're not paying attention.
Right.
And your universal team, this is why I love them. They're solid. They're with you 24/7. Your guides don't give up on you. Our angels, our source God, our loved ones who transition over to the other side, they're still with you, because energy talks to energy. That's our soul. Soul talks to soul. Physical body talks to body. That's why we go through the pain of missing them, because our body isn't feeling like it has the ability to talk, right?
Yeah.
But everything comes to your hands.
Yeah.
Everything. If you truly, truly want it, and you truly, truly see yourself and you feel yourself there, there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
To get past that of your body, that's your body.
Right.
Okay. That's another thing with me working with my clients, is teaching them what their body does versus what their soul does.
Right.
That way, whenever we're in a moment, we can go, okay, let me step back a minute. Okay. Is this something big truly that I need to start working myself up over? Or is this something that I'm just wasting my energy in?
Right.
And it's not doing anything but bringing more tough energy my way, law of attraction.
Yeah.
Right. So it is, in the beginning, is just learning. I wish, as I say, you know, I wished I would have known then, but another thing is I was told by somebody that I actually interviewed for my podcast, it's terrible. Don't judge yourself with the knowledge don't judge yesterday with don't judge yesterday with the knowledge you have of today.
Oh yeah. That's
You did the best you could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You only know what you know at the time.
Yep.
And the same right now. Like, you can't look back on right now. Like, you're doing what you think is like awesome. But a year from now, you'll be like, oh, I wish I knew.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
look at this year.
Even at that, it's like you go into something and you think, like me, 2020 for me has been the most impactful, amazing, deep year. I don't look at it painfully. Did I experience pain? Yes, I would be lying if I said I didn't, because my body definitely felt it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But who's to say the next couple of years, as I, start curbing the way that I come at myself and the way I judge myself, or the way, because you have to understand, even though I am so connected with the other side, it doesn't take away from the fact that I too am on a learning curve. Anyone in a body, even a Dalai Lama, we're all on a learning curve, right?
Right.
But we all have passions and strengths that we're able to help each other with.
Oh yeah.
So
100%.
in the next couple of years, who's to say it doesn't just keep getting better, because I'm changing the vibration and energy I'm putting outward. Instead of putting out, I'm being so self-protective and so worried and so like unsure. If I keep putting that out, guess what's coming?
Right. More energy.
More energy of that likeness. If I start going, you know what? I'm tired. And you know what, team? I'm going to give you the tough part. And they're going to go, oh, good. And then all the blessings have started to come, especially within this year. It's proven to me that I've only been fighting myself.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So,
that's a great answer.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to hear all of what you had to say. So
I know. In the meantime, I'm in my head, my analytical head going, Brianne, you're taking this and I will. I'll just keep giving it. But it's like, you know what? We got to make this, a little more considerate of timing.
Well, hopefully it's entertaining for everyone. Like it is to me. I'm like, yes, give me all the info. And I love getting to know you. And I adore you. So I want other people to know you how I know you. All right. One more question on that. And then I'll end with how to get a hold of you and things like that. So,
sure.
And I almost think you kind of answered this. What has been the hardest part of starting your business?
Fighting myself and not necessarily believing in the steps that I've known for about years. I've seen myself, and I actually, because of being spiritual, I've been around very spiritual people. I had an art photography lady her name is Miss Lucy, and she was just so loving. And she told me when I was in my late 20s was when I ended up meeting her at an expo. And she asked me if I did this work. She went, do you do this work? And I went, oh, I work. Because I'm so technical and self, Yeah. And she went, do you do this work? And I went, I am a scientist. I work. And she went, no. Do you do this work? She said, you do realize you're very, very soul dominant. You talk to the other side. You do. And I'm going, she's a stranger. I'm going,
do you?
Because when I was around that age, I was kind of like hiding that aspect because I didn't want to make anyone nervous or feel like they needed to like really pray for me because my,
right.
certain aspect. But, and I looked at her and I went, and she looked at my picture again, because what it is, it's a picture of your energy, right?
Oh, cool, yeah.
Yeah, that's what aura photography is for people who don't know what that is. I had no idea
what the heck you were talking about.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am a photographer and I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
Well, maybe we should get you into that because you're very intuitive and very open. So maybe we should, you know what? Thank you. We're going to talk about that.
Great.
Photography. Okay, you're right, honey. My light bulb's going off. But she looked at the picture and she said, never mind. She goes, keep living your life, child. She goes, you're going to pinnacle in your 40s. And I went,
okay.
And then as the years went, I kept getting more and more open with me genuinely, truly, with the fact that I've talked to loved ones and angels and people ask me, is there dark stuff on the other side? Yes. It's like light and dark. But that's another conversation. But anyhow, so here I am. I'm 40, getting ready to turn 41, and this is what I'm doing. And I'm spiritual life coach, and I do my podcast Beyond Grounded with Brianne Didino. And that the inspiration with that is just to basically continue to encourage people. I interview people that would give inspiration to any walk of life, whether you're very soul, wanting to be connected to your soul, or whether you're someone who's very connected to your body. I want people to be able to listen to my podcast and hear what people have gone and experienced and where they see themselves and what they want to do. It's like, no, I don't want you ever giving up on yourself. Either way, podcast, 101 to coach, whatever. I'm here to want to love the crap out of you and get you going. And the fact that you're amazing already, you just don't realize it, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have two things. One, I just want to add on to that. I look at it as like coming out in your 40s of actually like embracing who you are is sort of like your whole life has lived up to this moment. Like you were in job training. This was just more evidence and things that you've collected through the years. So you know exactly, how to actually do your job, what you do.
Very much so.
To you on that, so bad, so hard. And then secondly, I just want to also say that your podcast is amazing, and you had last week, I believe, the love letter to yourself exercise.
Yes, I was inspired one of our Polka Dot sisters. Yeah.
Yes, it's
what's funny?
Polka dots because you're my polka dot sister. That's what
I know. One of the many that I met. Who would have thought that such a hermit would be like so in love with you, with all of you?
Yeah. So, I've met amazing women, and you're one of them for sure. You're like my sister. I'm so glad. I mean, if you were the only one I met, I would have been like completely fulfilled. But oh my gosh, my heart is bursting with all the amazing women that I have in my life now. And so I'm going to. You gave me all the links. You gave me the links to the podcast?
I'm pretty sure I did. Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that that's in the links above, I guess, in the title of the video. And
because if it has, I'm pretty sure I did. If not, I'll get it to you. But it's Anchor is who I do my podcast through. When you do your checklist.
Okay, I'll make
it'll be my there, and you'll see the word Anchor in that link. That's my podcast, and then beyondgrounded.com is my website, and then I have my Facebook and my Instagram.
Yeah, and it's all called Beyond Grounded, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And I got the name when you were talking. I was like, oh, like where you got Beyond Grounded, because you were like, I'm so grounded.
Oh, so wicked grounded.
Right.
Yeah.
So I love
but yet that side of me is beyond that.
I love that. It's a great name. And I just want to thank you so much for doing this and being my first one. You're going to be on Thursday today. They're seeing it. So I appreciate you and love you. And I know there's so much good coming to you. Oh
my gosh. I can't wait, because the more people that I've met, the more inspired I've been.
Yeah.
So even my clients, that's what I'm falling in love with, that aspect of coming outside of that being hermity and thinking that I need to do things by myself, but yet meeting everybody has been as much inspiration as people have gotten from me. Just trust I'm getting just as much from you.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I believe that. Like, I mean, me and you. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Bree. I call her Bree. So everybody calls you Bree that I know, right?
It's like, if you can't say Brianne and that's just not how you're feeling, I mean, you just a sister for all I give a crap. But anyway, it's like.
All right. I love your face. And thank you so much.
Absolutely. But thank you for having me. I was completely honored when you asked, and it wasn't like any assumption of any kind of like, yes, I should be on there, but it's like, it's so humbling to me to be loved that much by you. So thank you.
I absolutely love you. All right. Bye.